When there's always lots to talk about, this is the place to have your say. Montreal Now, CJAD 800.
We're not surviving based on only the clientele that surrounds us. There's a lot of people come on cars. So during the summer, just the losses alone, it's about 55%, and it's a huge loss.
So that is Emile who called us just before 2:30. We're talking about the 10 city streets that the city will turn into pedestrian-only for this summer. Mm-hmm. One of them is Mount Royal, and he is on Mount Royal, right around Papineau. And what he said is, and it's, when you first hear this, you don't think of that. But for some merchants who can't get deliveries because now you can't get a truck down that street, I don't believe, and maybe that's something the city should look at, set aside a time where traffic can come so they can pick up their stuff, and then from whatever that hour is in the morning, from 9 to 5 or whenever, then it becomes a pedestrian-only street and doesn't adversely affect merchants.
You know why they won't do that? Because that would require effort to open and close the street. So they just permanently close it. It stays closed. But so he has Boucherie Comtoise. It's on Mount Royal between Papineau and Delormier, he said. And basically 55% of his business is lost because people can't get to him. And then he's not allowed to do something like, I was like, you always see people selling sausage sandwiches and stuff out front. Could you do that as a butcher? He's not allowed because they don't grant grilling permits. So you take away 55% of his business and you don't allow another way to earn. I hadn't even thought about that aspect of it. I was thinking about if it's your neighborhood, is it a nuisance? You can't get to where you're trying to get to. And
you imagine you're going to a butcher, beyond buying your sandwich, you're buying, meat or steaks or gut, and now you don't have a car. So if you're buying for a large family, you have a lot of stuff to carry. What are you doing? Bring your bike to carry home your meat?
Wagon. Bring your wagon.
Michael's on the line. Michael, what about you?
Generally, I like the idea. I mean, I used to go down to some of these places like Wellington, and I used to work with the gay village, and it was always nice to go and have a beer or something there.
Is there a butt coming here?
Oh, there is.
Okay.
But with the costs now, forget it. I can't go. I can't afford it. I mean, they're charging way too much, and then the 18% tips and stuff. I mean, restaurants and bars are now an extreme luxury. So maybe it's a nice idea, but I won't be going.
Fair enough. Michael, thank you for the call. I appreciate that. There's a different take. Do you think merchants, when it becomes pedestrian only, actually mark prices up?
Some do, I think. Yeah,
that's not right.
I think some do.
Of course, in the case of the butcher, you almost are forced to do it because you're losing such a volume of your business to begin with.
I'm really struck by what we heard from Emile. Again, so $12 million program over 3 years to revitalize city streets. 10 of them will be pedestrian only for the summer. Is there one in your neighborhood? How do you feel about it? Do you think it really does attract as many people as they say, or does it deter people from going?
Mark, what do you think?
Yes, well, actually, I know I used to work, I'm an air crew member, and we used to have layovers in Brussels, and they have a street that's shut down for pedestrian traffic, but before the hours of, let's say, 7:30 in the morning, and after the hours of 8 o'clock in the evening, then the trucks could get by and do their deliveries.
So that's what I'm sort of suggesting. Natasha says, well, that would require work. Someone would have to open a barrier, close a barrier, yeah. I'm going to bring this. I think this is worth bringing up. We'll get someone from the city, whether it's the mayor or somebody, to try to explain why that can't be the case, because there are merchants in the same sort of situation as our caller, Emile, the one with the butcher shop, who are going to be hurt because of this, and that shouldn't be the case.
So we reached out to Sophie Moserol from the city. Is she joining us tomorrow, or one of her representatives is?
It will be Lisa Christensen, who is available.
Right.
Which is interesting, because Lisa, of course, does the car show here on CJD, and this will be no cars. It'd be very interesting to get her take on this. Tyler, what about you? What do you think?
I'm just going to say it like this. I'm a truck driver, been a truck driver for years, and I actually think, go ahead, close all the streets. And then when enough businesses start going out of business because we can't get there, and I already know a few companies that are starting to mark up their prices if we have to go to the city, just because we have to have the hassle of detours, streets closed, construction. It's a hassle for us. And all the people that are complaining, like all the bike people, well, your bikes that get delivered to your special bike stores don't come in Priuses. They come on trucks. So if you want your bike,
love it,
you need us to get there. So I hope all these dimwits at the city hall, especially the one running it, kind of reflects a little bit and says, you know what? yeah, maybe we shouldn't be doing this because there's going to be a lot of businesses going out of business, especially with more companies like mine starting to up the price to get there.
Hey, Tyler, feel free to call anytime.
I have a question, though, before you go away, Tyler. How do you feel about this idea of doing the deliveries at night?
No. Why? Why should I change my scheduling for drivers and all that when most of the stores are open during
the day?
You know, a lot of stores only open at 8. Mom and pop stores don't come in at, 3 o'clock in the morning. They open at 8. They open, some will, open at 6. But 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock is rush hour. So my drivers, or even me, I'm going to have to, wake up at the crack of dawn just to be able to go and deliver.
Okay.
Making a fair point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Tyler. Thanks.
Tyler, I thank you for the call. Tom, what about you? What do you think?
Don't like the idea at all. We had a retail wholesale store in the Latin Quarter for over 20 years, and the worst time of the year of us was just for laughs when there were 100,000 people in the street. It was great for bars. It was great for restaurants. It was lousy for stores, for like the butcher. People at the end of when they stopped doing the just for laughs there, they actually started giving a rebate to retail stores because they eventually understood they were losing money and clients. The people are walking around. Yeah, you get the people walking around, but your clients, your shoppers, it's much harder for them to come. They don't come.
Sure.
Tom, another great call. Thank you so much. I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised. I thought we'd have a whole lot more people say, I love it, love the idea. But you're hearing real life from people who this will affect, and not in a good way. And, and to the idea of merchants, he's right. If you're not a bar or a restaurant, are those people sort of wandering around the street? Are they really going to be your customers? Are they coming in to buy anything? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Let's go back
clearly
to the
they
phone.
are. Clearly they are.
Lawrence, what about you?
Yeah, okay, listen, I'm the call you've been waiting for. I think it's the greatest idea since sliced bread.
Okay, there you go.
And listen, I think change comes with pain. I mean, I'm listening to all the people who are saying this is terrible. It's an awful idea. Business is going to go down. Life gets more complicated and so forth. I hear that. I think there's got to be solutions to all of these issues. I think opening up these pedestrian thoroughfares, let's say between 7 o'clock in the morning and noon on Monday and Tuesday, so delivery people can make their deliveries. There isn't very much foot traffic at that time of the day anyway. These are problems that can be solved. I just say, hey, Montreal, embrace change. We've got an amazing city. There's nothing wrong with changing to make it even better. I love walking down the well. I adore my walks on Montreal. I buy tons of stuff when I go out, not just at restaurants and bars. I go into retail stores. I go to butcher shops.
You're the one. Okay.
I walked out of one on Montreal with a bag full of meat. I walked the boulevard. I went to a butcher shop, not a Meals one, a competitor. I bought some stuff, and I walked a couple of blocks to where my car was parked and took it home for the weekend. And I don't live in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
Lawrence,
one of those guys did business with me, and I don't live in the neighborhood. I love the idea.
I'm listening to you
Lawrence.
go through this, and I'm for whatever reason, Lawrence, I'm not buying this. I don't know why. Because you sound like, the perfect person to be out enjoying the streets, and for some reason I'm thinking, you're making some of this up. You can't be that happy and out there and supporting all these retailers.
And you're driving a car?
Yeah.
I am. I do videos. I do TikTok videos all over the place. I park my car or I bike, okay, and I walk those streets. I meet I've got all kinds of new friends. I buy clothes. When I'm there, if I go to a place I've never been to before and I go, I've never bought meat here before. I can even remember the name of the place I bought meat from. So I'm one of those people who do get there. And by the way, if you've got kids, you can take your kids down those streets and you don't have to worry about them banging.
No one is saying that's a bad idea. But, as you paint this rosy picture, the one thing you mentioned before was, can we at least, to help people who are merchants on that street, allow them to get their deliveries between 7 and 10? And why do we have to have that street closed the entire day? That's not fair to them. The rest of it's fine.
Let's send Lawrence there
City
and he'll
Hall.
shop there. No, he's great.
Lawrence, I thank you for the call. Maybe we'll run into you on Mount Royal.
Sure, absolutely.
Send us some of your videos.
I want to get to our last call. She's been holding for a while. Elizabeth, real quick, give me your take on this.
Yes, I just want to make one correction. You say pedestrian only. Well, I walk on Wellington Street, and every minute I have a bike up my rear. They should ban bicyclists.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be allowed on those
You're right.
pedestrian-only streets.
I agree with you.
You'll be happy to know, Elizabeth, a couple of people have texted in exactly that same feeling.
On Saint Laurent, when they close it for the street sale, you're not allowed to ride your bike. You can walk your bike, but you're so right. You should only be allowed to walk your bike, Elizabeth.
All right. Elizabeth, thank you for the call. Thank you all. This has been eye-opening. We will try to get someone from the city. We may have someone on tomorrow to talk about this, so we'll see where they
Lisa Christensen
what they're open to.
Yeah.